Well, good morning everybody. It's Andrew here from Hobbies Australia, and after a break of some months, we've finally had an opportunity to get into the office and to do a video on an upcoming kit. This is one that I'm really excited about. This is from AFV Club, and it's their kit 35291, and it's an Australian M113 as used by the Australian Army since the Vietnam era up until current. So, AFV Club 35291 was based on the 2017 release of the AFV Club M113, their kit 35113. Came to market in 2017 and really lifted the bar for APCs. That was the first kit that we saw of this sort of genre. In 2019, two updates to that kit were announced. The first one was the Israeli version, 35311. That came to market late last year and has been very well received. Nicely done, all the parts in that box for the original M113, and then additional sprues making it a unique Israeli APC. So that was awesome. 35291, the Australian version, was also announced in 2019, but because of everything that happened last year with COVID, we're only just getting this stock now. Stock was available, worldwide release was the 26th of May. Here at Hobbies Australia, we delayed our shipment so we could incorporate this kit. Kit is now on the water, and we at this stage believe that it will be with retail stores and available through online retailers in the Australian market within about the next 2 weeks. This kit is going to has a recommended retail of $89.99, and the reaction or the response from retailers so far has been absolutely superb. Everything that I could have thought it would be, and a little bit more. So let's crack open the box. Let's have a look at some of the instructions, the decals, the sprues, etc. Okay, so first up, let's have a look here at the box art. Stylised painting, two M113s, Australian M113s in a paddy field somewhere in Vietnam, with a 9 Squadron Bush Ranger Iroquois in the background. Nice evocative box art, looks the goods. We look around the side, we'll see all the various features and details on the kit, uniquely Australian things such as the T50 Cadillac gauge turret, very nicely rendered. Flick that around, we can see the personal weapons that are in there. So we have L1A1s or SLRs, we have Owen guns, we have F1 machine guns, and we have the Sterling submachine gun in here as well. And interestingly enough, they do a standard Sterling submachine gun. They offer it here in the kit, and they also offer the silenced version. The silenced version of the submachine gun, the Sterling submachine gun, was used by both the Australian and New Zealand SAS regiments deployed in Vietnam. But the standard Sterling, for whatever reason, it's on the sprue. From what I can understand, it was never issued to Australian forces, but you know, it's just an extra little bits and pieces that's in there. So we open up the box, and as we can see, jam-packed. Okay, Ryan will get some photos of the individual sprues, and we'll talk about those going through down the track. Okay, so open up the box, jam-packed full of sprues. As we've come to expect from AFV Club, we get this nice little A4 sized poster print of the box art, and then we have the instruction booklet. Now, as I said, all the sprues are in here to build the original M113 from AFV Club. So there's going to be a lot of things, a lot of parts in this kit that are going to end up in your spare parts box that you can kit bash. Lots of American personal weapons, M16s, M60s, etc. So lots of bits and pieces in there. The instruction booklet has nice, easy follow steps. Paint call out are done by the Humbrol, the Vallejo, Life Colour, and the GSI brand. So that's all readily available in the Australian market, so that's going to make it fairly easy there for you. Of course, there's other options out there. Nice, easy, step-by-step instructions. We see here placard placement from the decal set, so that's all good, etc, etc. All very much straightforward build until we get towards the end of the instruction booklet, and then we start to see the Australian options start to kick in. So the Australian turret on the top, because it had multiple machine guns, needed an awful lot of ammunition. This is represented here through steps 21 and 22. The construction of the turret, the T50 turret, which makes this vehicle uniquely Australian. There are three configuration options that you have, so whether or not you want 50 caliber, twin 30 calibers, or a combination of 50 and 30 caliber, you just need to make that decision as you're building, and then that will obviously reference into your decal options. But again, nice, laid out, straightforward. You know, there's really nothing there that's going to confuse or confound the modeler. 6 decal options. One thing I did find, I guess from a personal point, and what I really enjoy about military modelling, is that you can actually investigate the history of the vehicle or the unit deployed. This instruction, for whatever reason, doesn't call out the actual units, but you know, a Google search will find that, if that's the sort of thing that you like. That's something, that's a personal preference, that's what I like to do. The paint options, very straightforward, olive drab externally, and then of course lots and lots of weathering opportunities. Okay, so looking at the sprues, the contents here in the box. First thing with the M113 is the tub construction. So here we can see the main chassis of the vehicle is all done for us. You know, detail there is quite nice. Nothing earth-shattering, but again, cleanly rendered. No flash, no ejection marks that are going to be in prominent positions and will cause you trouble as a modeler. Pardon me. You know, we then see all the main things: skirts, front containers, fuel tanks, engine compartments, etc, etc. All nicely done. And again, you know, as I've been keep pointing out, there's no flash, there's no anything untoward on there that's going to cause the modeler any real drama when it comes to constructing this kit. This sprue here, sprue C, this will probably most of this will end up in your spare parts box. Obviously there's the rear hatch, but things like the gun shield, you know, these weren't used on the Australian model, so they won't necessarily be used. Okay, again here we can see there's 2 here of sprue D. Again, the majority of these sprues will end up in your spare parts box, but again, nicely done. 50 caliber machine gun. Rather a unique way in which they mould these, how they split them laterally. Don't know if I'm a big fan of that or not, but they seem to build up quite well if you take your time and be a little bit careful with it. Your road wheels, your drive wheels, bolt head detail, weld lines, really nicely done. They're crisp, they're clean, they're well within proportion. They're a real standout feature of any of the M113s from AFV Club. These guys really have lifted the whole benchmark when it comes to some of the armoured personnel, or some of the armoured fighting vehicles that these people do. I guess initially there was a lot of discussion about AFV Club being probably over-engineered, but what we're now seeing from the likes of Rifeld from Tackham, AFV is very much a go-to brand. The brand was probably established in Australia with their kit 35-100, which was their Australian Centurion, which still remains an incredibly popular model, and putting a Centurion alongside the Australian M113, it's going to be a little bit of a no-brainer, but very nicely done. This new sprue, this is their sprue N, and this is the T50 turret. Okay. There have been some comments in various social media forums that maybe the shape of the T50 isn't quite accurate, but look, from my point of view, from my perspective, hey, this is an Australian M113. This is totally unique Australian variant, and you know, is it 100% accurate? Probably not. you know, it might be 95, 98% accurate, but the whole thing is it gives the modeller the opportunity to take a base kit and build whatever he or she chooses to do. And that's the whole thing about modelling. As we all know, it's a very, very unique hobby, and you can put as much effort and care and research into the kit as you feel comfortable with. And that's what AFV Club do. They give you a very, very strong platform to build from, and away you go from there. Did touch briefly earlier on this before, this particular sprue with the new deck, with the ammo cans in both 30 and 50 caliber. Nicely rendered, crisp, no sprue, no flash. I guess we'll have a look here quickly at the tracks, the rubber band style. Very nicely done. They actually supply you also with a couple of little metal locking pins, so you can put them into position and then the pins just slide through and hold the track in place. So there's no need to melt locking lugs or put staples or anything like that through the track like we used to have to do, which was the norm. What do we got here? So these are sprue I, so these are the personal weapons for the American version. So we can see M16s, we can see M60s, additional jerry cans, all parts that could be used on this model if you wanted to, or they could end up in your spare parts box, whatever works best for you. Sprue E. Sprue E was in the original model of the M113, but there's a couple of additional pieces here have been put on at either end. Mud guards, internal detail, so they're quite nice. That's the original clear parts, not really relevant for the kit that we're talking about. And then we've got these couple of extra sprues here, so we've got additional fuel cans. And these are the weapons that are relevant for the Australian model. So we've got the L1A1 or the SLR, we've got the F1 machine gun, we've got the Owen gun, we've got the Sterling submachine gun and the silenced Sterling submachine gun, and also a couple of 30 caliber machine guns. Photo etch, two little sheets. So there's all our straps and buckles, etc. Tow cable, and then additional bits and pieces, mesh grills, inserts for jerry cans to give them that extra 3D relief, and then also a holder for the jerry cans. So, you know, nice, crisp, easily rendered photo etch, really nicely done. All in all, you know, the guys at AFV Club have done a nice job with this. Well, not a nice job, they've done a very nice job, a great job actually, with this kit. It's been eagerly anticipated. We're going to have it here shortly, and it's going to be very well done. The last sprue is this new transparent sprue, which are all the viewing windows for the T50 turret, and that's an extra addition to it. Decal sheet. As I said, 6 different marking options for various units deployed in Vietnam, plus all internal dials, placards, etc., etc. So this is really, really nicely done, and I think as the show scene opens up here in Australia, with hopefully COVID getting under control more and more, we'll start to see these on tables at, you know, QMHE and Model Expo before the end of the year. This kit has been exceptionally well received. There have been some sprue shots sent out, but this is the first time we've actually been able to get hold of the kit, and thanks to the people at AFV Club for helping us out with this. Very, very well received. As I said, recommended retail price $89.99, and this kit will be available in retail stores and online retailers within about the next 2 weeks, probably towards the end of the first week in July. So keep your eye open for it. This is going to be a fantastic kit. Now, as always, hopefully now that things are starting to settle down a little bit, we're getting back into some normality. You'll start to see more videos from us. There's a couple of things, you know, incoming shipments that we'll talk about from Academy. We've got our new B52H that'll be with us shortly. This is going to be eagerly anticipated. In our next shipment from Academy, we'll be having their new 135th Panzer II and that will be with us later in the year, but we'll be doing videos on both of these. And just keeping on the Australian theme, in the next couple of weeks we'll be getting our 1/72 scale Bushmasters from Dragon with the standard option and also the up gun version with the remote weapon station, so 2 of those. But also with our friends at SMS, we'll also have the new 10mm paint sets from SMS that are designed for the Bushmaster set. Being 10mm, these are a thicker paint, so these can actually be brushed or they can be thinned down to be airbrushed. So we'll be doing videos on those in coming weeks. As always, if you like what we're doing, let us know. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. You know, always welcome constructive criticism, some feedback, and you know, until next time, when we get the opportunity to chat again, stay safe, take care, build more kits, and we'll see you soon. All the very best. Bye-bye.